everybody. Welcome back to the Room of the Ancient Mariner. My name is Mike, and this is where I talk about good music and drink Iron Maiden Trooper beer. Let's crack this one open. Today, I want to show some records that I've picked up over the last couple of days. I've got some used finds. I've got a new one I'm going to show, and I got some dollar finds that I'm really excited about, but most of my viewers will probably be wondering if it's time for me to cash in my heavy metal card. But you know, rest assured, I've got some hard rockers in this one too. So let's start off with some of the used finds that I've got. First one is a metal record, and it's one that I've not had anything by this particular project of the guy, but most of the metal fans will be familiar with Cincinnati's David T. Chastain. He's a great shredder, and he's his namesake band Chastain released some fantastic traditional metal albums back in the 80s. And this is his project CJSS, and this is their second record, I believe. Praise the Loud. And CJSS is an acronym for the band members' names. You got David Chastain on guitar, Russell Jenkins was the vocalist, Mike Skimmerhorn played bass. I think he might have been in the Chastain band too, I'm not sure. And then Les Sharp on drums, so CJSS. And this is a really good album. I love the album cover. I've never had this one. I always remember seeing it around. I was really happy to pick that one up. It's good stuff. Trying to think if it's on the Leviathan label, and I'm wondering if it's got a custom label. Yeah, it's got, it's pretty neat. It's, if you can see it, it's got this custom CJSS label. So that's pretty cool, from Leviathan Records. Giving it a spin already, and it's good traditional metal with Chastain's lead guitar work. If you're not familiar with David Chastain, I highly recommend you check him out. And if you like metal and you've not heard any of the Chastain band releases, definitely check those out. Those are fantastic. Okay, moving on. A couple of bands that I'm ashamed of, that I've never really known much about them. But this next record, I remember I was going through my Apple Music and I was listening to some progressive rock, and at the bottom it always comes up with like similar artists that you might like. And this album popped up, and I had seen this album somewhere before when I was on a dig, and I thought it looks really cool, and it sounds metal as hell, but it's not metal. It's 70s prog rock, and the band is called Armageddon. And this is the album cover. It's a really neat album cover. It looks like these four dudes sitting here awaiting the apocalypse. And then on the back, they have all indeed turned to stone. But what this was, guys in this band was a semi-super group. This album came out in '75, and it was Keith Relf, who was in the Yardbirds, Martin Pugh, who played on the Rod Stewart album, it says, and was in a band called Stormhammer. And then Bobby Caldwell, who's pretty well known. He was in Captain Beyond, and a really good drummer. And then Louis Sinamo, I forget his name right. But this guy was in the band Steamhammer, also, not Stormhammer, Steamhammer. And a band named Renaissance. So anyway, these, I'm familiar with Bobby Caldwell, and I should have been with Keith Relf, but I got to admit, I'm not like a Yardbirds junkie. I appreciate everything that they contributed to rock and hard rock, but I'm just not a Yardbirds junkie, so I wasn't familiar with the guy. Anyway, I listened to this, and I really liked it, and that sounded really great on the streaming service. And I thought, man, it would really sound good on vinyl. So I passed on it when I was in the shop, and I went back a couple days later and found it. It was still there, and I picked it up. Like I said, it came out in '75. Really good album. Silver Tightrope is the second song on the album, and it's kind of a soft. It's not, a ballad, but it's very similar to something that Yes would put out, and the vocals sound a lot like John Anderson. But there's some really, really fantastic performances on here. Like I said, the drumming from Bobby Caldwell is fantastic. He really lays down a good groove. And there's and then Keith Relf also provides some really, really good harmonica work. There's some songs in here where the harmonica and electric guitar interplay very well. But if you like 70s progressive rock and you're not familiar with Armageddon like I wasn't, check it out. If you ever see it, check it out. And I got it for a good price. I'm happy to have it. Sounds really good. Okay, kind of in the same vein, another band that I had not been familiar with, and I have the guy from. Sorry, I can't think of your name, dude. Watch your videos all the time, but the guy from Sea of Tranquility was doing a video with Martin Popoff the other day, and he was wearing a shirt of this band, and I thought, I saw that in the bins too, and I've never been familiar with this band. I ought to check them out, and I did, and I'm glad I did because I liked what I heard, and that was another English prog rock art rock band, Bebop Deluxe, and this I believe is their. I want to say this is either their second or third album. But anyway, the lead guy is Bill Nelson, who is a British guitarist and vocalist, and he's the creative guy, or the creative engine that runs this. And this is really good music. It's proggy. It's got some hard rock roots. I can see also where I've read that this band was kind of compared to the more rock-oriented style of David Bowie. It's all in there, and you can hear it when you play it. But really good music on this album. What was this? Sister Seagull, fantastic track. Made in Heaven. But this Bill Nelson is really a good guitar player. And I'm kind of embarrassed to admit that in all my years I was not familiar with him or this band. But I really like this. It's a great album. This one is called Futurama. And again, if you see that one in the bins, somewhere in the used bins, and you're not familiar with the band, I'd recommend you check them out. Okay, now I'm going to show my dollar finds. It's so exciting to go somewhere and actually find records for $1 anymore. Used to, you could find really awesome records for just $1. But since the hobby has gotten so popular again, it's hard to it's hard to do that all the time. Now, I'm realistic when I go to the dollar bins. Every once in a while, I'll find like a real gem in there, a hard rock, from a hard rocker's perspective. But when I go to the dollar bins, I'm just looking for a record that I like the music, and I can, for $1, I can bring it back here and put it in with all my bargain records. I've got my good new records out in another room, and these are mostly the bargain records. Not that this is a downgraded player. This is an upgrade from what I had. I had one of the suitcase players in here, and I really didn't want to play good records on one of the suitcase players. So now that I moved back here, this is where the dollar records go. But anyway, I'm realistic about it. I'm not going to get a lot of hard rock, not going to get a lot of metal. I'm going to get good music. So that's the focus. These are all, I think, fantastic albums, and I was so happy to get these for $1. So let's just kind of go. I'm going to just grab them here in the stack. The first one is, again, another legendary player that I admittedly not been familiar with his music. I knew who he was, but just not familiar with him or his recordings. But this is Chet Atkins with his Picking on the Beatles. So Chet Atkins, a legendary guitar player. I knew that, just not familiar with him. That the sound of the style. Of course, I'm not a player, so if I had ever been a guitar player, I probably would have been more involved with what Chet Atkins did. But his style of play just wasn't what I was used to when I was growing up. So I had to learn about Chet Atkins at a later age, and I'm doing that at 50. Awesome, right? But this is a fantastic record. It's got Chet Atkins playing Beatles classics with his flavor. And if you're a finger picker, if you don't know who Chet Atkins is like I didn't, look into it. This is a really good record. I was really happy to find it for $1. All right, next I'm going to show, let's go with this one. This one was just, I think, a fantastic find, again, for $1. Retrospective, the best of Buffalo Springfield. Most of you maybe know who Buffalo Springfield is. I think everybody's heard for what it's worth. Stop. Hey, what's that sound? Man, this is just a great record. Absolutely great record. In fact, at the record shop where I bought this, I'm pretty sure the guy was spinning this and to check out how it sounded one of the days I was in there, because I remember Mr. Soul was playing. I think it was Mr. Soul. Anyway, it was a song on here, and it sounded very much like Jumpin' Jack Flash by the Stones, and I had a conversation with the record store guy about, man, I wonder which one came first, and honestly, I don't know. I probably should. This one was 69. Pretty sure that Jumpin' Jack Flash came first, but everybody's, used that riff before. But anyway, if you're not familiar with Buffalo Springfield, let's see, Stephen Stills, Neil Young, Richie Furay, Dewey Martin, and Bruce Palmer, who was later replaced by Jim Messina. So some big names that were involved with Buffalo Springfield. But this is their greatest hits collection. This album sounds really decent for just $1, and I'm happy to have it. Okay, next up, here's more of another classic rock album. I have this on CD. Never had it on vinyl. Saw it, but you know what? Let's just take it home. And if it's in any kind of shape at all, if it plays, it was worth $1. But this is Steely Dan, Can't Buy a Thrill. 1972 is when this came out. It's got some, the big hits on here are Do It Again, Dirty Work, Reelin' in the Years. Most everybody knows who Steely Dan is. It's got a nice gatefold cover here with the lyrics. Again, in really good, it's in decent shape. It'll play, and happy to have this one now. And then another, I think a classic album. This album sounds really good, and it's good music. And this one is Life and Times by Jim Croce. Nice little picture of him on the back. And this is a gatefold cover. Really nice album here, and the big hit from this was Bad Leroy Brown. I think everybody knows Jim Croce. A great singer-songwriter. I mean, if you wanted to, one example of, hey, how can I get into singer-songwriter music? Jim Croce is a guy a lot of people would recommend. And that being said, leads up to this. What I was very happy with this find. There is no shame in me admitting that one of my favorite artists is Neil Diamond. And I've always touted, in fact, I did a video for a contest entry not too long ago where Hot August Night was pretty much not the subject of it, but I put a bunch of albums together like a bracket challenge for the Final Four. And anyway, Hot August Night was, of all the ones that I picked to showcase in it, Hot August Night ended up being a winner. I love the album, love Neil Diamond. I think Neil Diamond puts on a great show. I've seen him before, and it was one of the best concerts I've ever seen. So I like Neil Diamond. Now, I don't have many Neil Diamond vinyl albums. I think the only one that I had in my collection was The Jazz Singer. I might have had one more other one that I picked up somewhere, but you can find Neil Diamond in the dollar bins a lot. Like Neil Diamond, Barry Manilow, guys like that, Barbra Streisand. You can find all that stuff in there. So again, I'm just going for good music for, $1. So what I found was, we're going to go in sequence here. I found this one, Stones. I'm not sure where this lands in his discography. But the really cool thing about this album, aside from how it sounds and that it's got some great songs on it, I Am, I Said, Crunchy Granola Sweet, love that song, even though it sounds a little goofy. But, hey, Neil Diamond, goofy pop, that was his thing. But the really cool thing about this album was, this is one of the original pressings, early pressings, that has this kind of grommet, string and grommet envelope style jacket, where you open it up like an envelope, and then the record comes out, and the label's really cool because it says Neil Diamond Stones on it, if you can see that. But this is really neat. Not that this was made, and then I think I don't know that it maybe didn't go over too well, and they discontinued this particular jacket, and the subsequent presses of the album went went in just like your traditional side open covering. But this is, you know, when I found that out after doing a little research on the album, I was very happy to have found that, and kind of surprised that that this would have been in a dollar bin, you know, simply because of that. So there's that one, and then next in sequence, again, I'm not sure where these fall in his discography, but this is Moods, and has some well-known songs on it. Song Sung Blue, Morningside is the song on this album that I've always liked. Porcupine Pie, a little goofy, but you know, Canta Libre, good song. Really good album. Again, Neil Diamond. I like Neil Diamond. This is a nice thick jacket. It's not, you know, chintzy and cheesy. But I was very happy to find that one. And then the last one that I got was another Neil Diamond. This one was this is Beautiful Noise. Seen this many times in places, just never picked it up, but decided, you know what, it's in the dollar bin, we're going to get it. This is a album that was it was a concept album, and I want to taken from the point of view of what I don't know if it was 1960s America might be like from like a new songwriter singer perspective, like in New York. Anyway, it was produced by Robbie Robertson from the band, and one of these songs was included on the movie about the band. So again, I'm not real familiar with the material of this album, but it was $1. Happy to get it because, again, I love Neil Diamond. So those were my used and my vinyl finds, or my used finds. And then I want to show you, because I just got this, I just picked this up and went to, well, you know what? I think I'm going to show it on a different video. I think we're just going to limit this today, keep the time down. But anyway, that's some of my recent vinyl finds, used vinyl finds on my last dig. Had a real good time going to the record store and finding some albums from artists that I should have known about but didn't. Before I close out, it's good Trooper beer. Got my custom-made Iron Maiden coaster. Yeah, I made this. Got a set of them, different album covers. You know, great thing about YouTube, you can watch different videos from people and learn how to do all kinds of different things. So I made a set of Iron Maiden coasters. So yeah, I'm gonna finish my my Trooper beer. Might just put on some Neil Diamond and chillax a little bit and look out the window and this beautiful day here where I'm at. And yeah, I've got one metal album in there, some hard rock from the 70s, and despite the fact that I like Jim Croce and Steely Dan and Neil Diamond, I am a metal dude. You can see around, look, I got Yngwie Malmsteen that's spinning right now. You can see I got Screaming for Vengeance up here on the wall. Vinyl Junkie just says it. I like anything, and I'm going to show my records here. Anyway, you know, let me know what you think about Neil Diamond. I look forward to seeing everybody else's videos on some of their recent finds. And when you are in the record store and you're picking up some metal releases, don't be afraid to let them know you're metal. Bang your head, throw the goat, and I'll catch you next time.